and welcome back to the It Takes Grit podcast. My name is Rebecca Louise, and today, you're gonna love this one. Even though that you probably have put this video off, or you put off listening to this podcast because you're like, oh, I know Rebecca talks about it all the time of why you need to put yourself first always. Because sometimes I've heard, overseeing a couple of comments and connecting with you guys on Zoom, that you're like, yes, I put myself first. However, then this happened and then I couldn't. But I need to hone in on today at why it's so important to always put yourself first. Even if it's just a quick 5 minutes. Even if it means, hey, you know what? You have boundaries around your family, around your spouse, around your friends. So I'm going to give you permission today to put yourself first. And I'm going to add that word on the end. Always. No excuses. Without doubt. It always has to be you first. Now, why is that so important? Well, energy is everything. If you really want to be somebody in the world that is giving love and energy and positivity, and you want to be a 10 or 9, right? Solid 9, then you have to have great energy. And the only way that you can have great energy all day long is by putting yourself first. So even when we're talking about a routine, everyone's like, wow, what's your routine in the morning, Rebecca? Oh, I don't want to do this, 27-step morning routine. Absolutely not. Do not do doesn't matter, 27-step morning routine. 3 to 5 things in the morning is going to be great. And you're like, well, Rebecca, I don't have time to 3 to 5 things. I want to ask yourself right now, you have a routine in the morning. Whether it's a good one or it's not, you have a routine. Your routine might be that you wake up and before you do anything, you check social media. You might have a routine where you wake up and the first thing that you do is you're making your kids breakfast. They are routines. You just don't establish them because they are not something that feels like this, all the positive things. So first of all, I want you to get out of your head of I don't have time for a routine, because you already have a routine. Your routine right now is just not serving you to your highest ability. And when we change your routine, we're going to be able to change the energy. And when we change the energy, we're going to be able to change how you live your life. Because what are the things right now that you can think about that you do, even in the morning, maybe midday, or even before you go to bed at night, that is a habit that has become part of your routine? It's not always a healthy thing, right? People are like, oh, I don't have a morning routine. I don't have an evening routine. Well, you do. You do. It just might not be great. If you have an evening routine, if you go, I don't have an evening routine, but when you get home from work, you sit on the sofa, you have a drink, and then you watch some Netflix, and then, you get into bed and you're on your phone. Hate to break it to you, but you do have an evening routine. It just sucks. So I hope that you heard that clearly, right? Because a lot of time people are like, I don't have time to do all this. Well, you do have time. You're just choosing to spend it on doing something different. So when we're talking about routines and having your energy, it's so important that you put yourself first and all the things that are going to elevate you, right? Let's take out all the stuff that is not bringing you up to your highest purpose, okay? So number one is energy. You always have to put yourself first, always. Because it's not the fastest car on the track that is able to win the race. So I don't know if you guys have seen the Netflix documentary series, Formula One. I don't even know what I don't know if it's called, Drive to Survive or something, whatever it's called. It's amazing. I love it. I completely just obsessed with how Formula One works, how the drivers work, their mentality, the mindset, and just going that fast. I'm an adrenaline junkie. I can climb Everest, right? I can fly a plane, but I don't actually like going fast in anything, right? I'm just even skiing. I'm let me just go down this mountain nice and slowly and to be able to survive. But it's not the car that goes the fastest. It's the one that pits the most effectively. Even the other day, we were watching one and they changed the wrong tires. They put the wrong tires on. They put the tires on that didn't grip. So sometimes you guys are pit stopping and you're having a break, a midday break, but you're going on social media. or you're looking at things that aren't bringing your elevation up. And that pit stop isn't successful. You're like, I had a break, but what do you do at the end of the day? You go, I can finally what? What do you say? I can finally breathe. Well, that means that you haven't been breathing all day long. And sometimes in your pit stops that you need right now, you just need to take a moment to breathe. If you're feeling anxious or overwhelmed or stressed, the best thing that you can do is take 5 deep breaths from your belly. Let's just practice that right now. Let's take a nice big inhale all the way from your belly and the big exhale out. Imagine if you did that every single day, every couple of hours to reset. How would your energy be? By the time that you go to pick up your kids or your spouse comes home, you're not rallied up. Why? Because you've been breathing all day, because you've been pit stopping effectively. I want you to think right now, what are you doing through the day that breaks up the day so that you can change your state, come back down to that equilibrium, and to be able to execute at a really great pace for the rest of the day? Now, what things can you do to effectively pit stop? Okay, you can go for a walk outside, breathe, get some fresh air, fuel your body, okay? Move. Anything that kind of changes your state. Vibration plate, rebounder, cold plunge, cold shower. Anything that you can do that is just focusing on bringing your energy up. Now, you might be like, well, you don't understand, Rebecca. In the middle of the day, I don't have time to do that. That's a hallucination. You do have time, because if you aren't feeling like a 9 or 10 energy, if I gave you the task to do and me the task and I'm at a 9 energy and you're at a 6 because you haven't been pit stopping effectively, how long is that task going to take me, and how long is it going to take you? It's going to take you twice, if not 3 times the amount, because you're tired, you're exhausted, you can't think properly, you're not focused. So in the end, I've actually got more time than you because I pit stop it effectively. I want you guys to understand this, because the hallucination is, well, I don't have time to have a 15-minute break. I got to go and go and go. Well, yeah, you can do that. However, it's going to take you more energy and more time to do any of those tasks. If you just had a break, 15 minutes, and you just unwind and you take yourself out of the work environment, you take yourself out of the situation, and you just breathe, and you just reset, and you pit stop effectively, this is you putting yourself first always, so that you can be better later on in the day. This is what I want you to understand, is that you're not losing time, you're gaining time. Something we talk about a little bit is the chronological time compared to Kairos time, right? Chronological time is, it's the next hour, it's the next hour, it's the next hour. Kairos time is that in-between time, right? It's not chronological. It's when we get those ideas that come in. And that's when it can compound. So next time you feel like, I've got so much to do at the end of the day, make sure that you have a break so that the end of the day, tasks and things that you get to do, you actually do them quicker. And then you're going to finish the day quicker. You're going to finish feeling stronger. You're going to get more accomplished in a shorter amount of time, all because you pit stop it effectively and you put yourself first. Okay, I really want you to understand that, because you're going to be more efficient. And when do you need to pit stop? Well, as many times throughout the day when you feel like it's getting too much, when you feel like you're getting overworked or overstressed, that's the time when you can say, you know what? Let me just take in a nice big breath, inhale and exhale. And you can break it up into 3 areas, right? Morning. What are you doing in the morning that is putting yourself first? If you're making other people breakfast before you've made yourself breakfast, that's crazy. You're not even fueled properly to make other people a great breakfast. You need to fuel yourself first. You want to do gratitude first. You want to be able to move your body, even if it's just doing like 10 star jumps. What are you doing in the morning to set yourself up for success so that you can be the best version for everybody else who is around you? Number 2, get a little midday reset, right? Lunchtime. When you're having your food at lunch, don't do work at the same time. Can you maybe go eat outside, right? Can you just take a walk around the block? Can you do some breathing? Can you do some meditation? Something that is going to change your state, putting yourself first in that time. And then lastly, in the evening, what does your nighttime routine look like? And it's not about having this 52 million step routine, right? We see this on Instagram. It's like, this is my 7-hour morning routine. No, like I said at the beginning, you already have a routine. It probably just sucks. So in the evening, are you switching off your devices before you go to bed? Are you reading at night? Do you have a nice nighttime routine that you're enjoying? Right? What are you doing as a great routine that is going to set you up successfully for the next day? Because it is so hard when you travel. Think about this, right? When you travel and you have jet lag, how do you feel? You feel kind of shitty for a few days. It takes a while to catch up. It's the same when you have not looked after yourself. You are constantly playing catch up. To be your best, you have to look after yourself first. When they are on the airplane and they say, hey, you know what? If we have an accident and we go down, right, the oxygen mask is going to come off and you need to put the oxygen mask on yourself first. They don't say, put your oxygen mask on somebody else and then put it on you. Why? Because if you try to put it on your child or significant other, by the time you've halfway got it done, you yourself would have passed out. Think about that. You would have not only killed yourself, but you would have killed your child or your significant other or the person you're trying to help. There is a reason that they say put your oxygen mask on first so that you can be 100%, so that when you are looking after other people, family, friends, kids, that you are your best. Don't think that you don't have time or the kids come first or the spouse comes first or the family member comes first. You can't be all you need to be for those people unless you put yourself first. You're going to be a lesser version of yourself. You're going to do a disservice to yourself and others. If you really care about your family, about other people, and about looking after others, then you must look after yourself first always. You have to come before everybody else to make sure that you are that level 10 energy so that you can be the best version for everybody else. Because without that, you are not bringing your best and you're not bringing your best service to all of those people that you can have around you, that you can help. So I hope that I'm really making myself clear on today's episode that, when we feel like we can't make decisions and other people come before us, you have to put yourself first all the time. Even the other day, I was just like, I was on the client call with all of my nutrition clients. I do a weekly call for them. And I was talking about resetting and routines, and during that day, I really needed to get the podcast episode out. I was like, oh my gosh, it's like 2:00 in the afternoon. I need to get the podcast episode out. But I also knew that I hadn't done my sauna and I hadn't done my cold plunge that day. And I said, you know what? I'm going to take my own advice. And I was looking out the window. I'm like, you know what? The podcast is still going to come out today. I've always said podcasts come out every Wednesday. It's not going to come out today. However, I know if I just spent 20 minutes in the sauna and I think that day I did 1.5 minutes in the cold plunge. I just felt cold that day. I know that when I then go to do my podcast and load it, I'm going to be coming from a much better space. I'm going to be coming with a much better excitement level, a fresh look at it, rather than being like, oh, I just got to get this done. I got to get this done, and then I'll go in the sauna. No, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to break the pattern of how I'm feeling this day. I feel like I've been going and going and going. Like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday was just go, go, go. I'm going to have a break. I'm going to make sure that I go and serve myself for a little bit. And then, no, you know what? When I come back to releasing the podcast, I'm going to do a better job. I'm going to do a better job at releasing the podcast. I'm going to do a better job of explaining what's inside of that podcast so that it's better value for you. So there, I had to put myself first so that I could do a better job for you guys. So it's the same thing when it comes to things in your life when you're like, oh, you know what? It just doesn't matter. It does matter. So I hope that I have just honed this in so solid that putting yourself first always is the right thing to do. And if you're not already following us on the It Takes Grit Instagram, I highly recommend that you do. I post some fun little quotes over there that just give you a little bit of daily motivation to help you with your mindset and your personal growth. Well done for listening today. I'm excited to hear about how you're going to start putting yourself first. And remember, anytime that starts to slip, you need these words again. I'd listen to this podcast again and again and again to really hammer home and to rewire your brain as to knowing why it's so important to put yourself first always.